again, the audience for Bobby Robson's first night, with the manager and his players conscious of their responsibilities, not just here, but on the game's wider frontiers. England, of course, in white, defending the goal to the right in the first half. It's a blustery evening. The weather here has been showery. The pitch in good condition. Bertelsen for Denmark. Number 4, the captain, Per Rundfed, who was a scorer here 4 years ago when England won by 4 goals to 3. And there is the feeling in both camps, although it's a dangerous thing to say, that there should be goals in this game. Both sides going into the match with attacking lineups. Here's Lars Bastrup, who plays for Hamburg in West Germany. Brought away, though, by Ken Sansom. Trevor Francis, the one-man forward for England. And that from Soren Lerbu. And a big cheer for the 21-year-old. 6 foot 6 inches tall. His first cap. England come here with a proud defensive record of not having conceded a goal in more than 7 hours of international football. But they haven't scored in the past 4 hours of play. The goalless draws, of course, against West Germany and Spain in the World Cup, still fresh in the memory. Trevor Francis here, the last England player to score, in fact, against Kuwait. And he wins the free kick. Wilkins. Nice turn by Mariner against Busk. It was Morley coming in beyond Lerbu. Wilkins, to wait too long. It was Bertelsen who touched it from him. And Mariner winning a ball well in the air. Now Robson, can he keep it in? And Mariner again. And Ricks. England get the goal through Trevor Francis. Ricks had the first shot. Rasmussen could only get his body in the way. And Francis from right on the line. 7 minutes gone. But it was Paul Mariner who won an important ball then, and Brian Robson, who gave chase, turned it back, and then it dropped here for Ricks. Blocked by Rasmussen, and Francis scores. A touch from Mariner, collected by Robson. Now Neil. Francis coming short for Morley. And fell theatrically under the challenge from Ivan Nielsen. Trevor Francis, who got his first goal in the Italian First Division at the weekend for Sampdoria. England have been working hard at their set pieces in training. Morley over the ball, then Ricks. And here's Morley. The linesman is flagging as Mariner goes in. Blocked by Rasmussen. Back from Wilkins, and finally the goalkeeper hangs on. And play is allowed to go on. Here's Francis. And now Sansom timing the run well. Mariner had to spin on the left foot. Olsen. And it's Elkjær to take on Osman. And he's got the pace. And the referee had a good look. And no penalty, but England still in trouble. Olsen. Finally, Butcher gets some distance into the header. But Preben Elkjær felt that Russell Osman hauled him down deep inside the area in this incident here when there seemed to be pushing from both players. This is Busk. And it's Lebu who got forward undetected. Bastrup. And Olsen. And did Shilton get a hand to it? England think it's a goal kick. And the referee points for the corner. And Bobby Robson debates the point with Don Howe. But it was Olsen who had the shot, and Shilton was down quickly to his left and must have got a touch. Denmark's throw. Hansen. Here's Busk. Certainly as the half has developed, Denmark have made more use of their possession. And England got the throw awarded in their favour, which surprises Lars Bastrup. Robson. Francis. Soren Lebu taking the throw. Like so many of the Danish team, really owes his development as an international footballer to his work overseas. The touch from Francis, now Morley, but rather hurried the final effort. And it may even be a throw. I think in the end the referee has pointed for a goal kick. Tony Morley bursting through at pace, but shooting off balance. Nielsen coming from the back. Butcher missed his kick. And England survive in a rather haphazard fashion again. And though the new manager, I'm sure, will be pleased with one or two chances being made at the other end, the defensive side of this England formation haven't really come to grips with the job yet. Bertelsen. Well read then by Butcher. The England back four in the World Cup, of course, were shielded by a four-man midfield. Only three midfield players out there in this game. Front-fed. It's an imaginative pass that Elkjær finds on his right foot. He's a player with a very impressive goal-scoring record for his country, Preben Elkjær. 17 goals in 25 internationals before tonight. It ran a little kindly for him against Sansom, but he couldn't hit the target. The full house here, producing the highest receipts ever for a football match in Denmark, around £200,000. And the most expensive seat in the ground, only £7. Elkjær calling for the ball, played early, and he stayed onside and couldn't finish again when very well placed, having got past Butcher. The disappointment for Elkjær Ray Wilkins has run back to talk to Butcher and Osman. But the ball played over the centre of the England defence is a problem at the moment. Elkjær timed his run well, had got the better here of Butcher, wanted to loop it over Shilton, but got too far underneath it. And England at the moment hanging on by their fingertips as the first half comes to an end. England leading by 1-0, but having to work hard in the first half to defend their unbeaten record, which has lasted more than a year now. 12 games unbeaten. The last defeat was in Norway. Russell Osman, who had a testing first half, and I'm sure was relieved when the referee did not give a penalty against him when he tangled with Preben Elkjær. There was criticism of England's formation towards the end of the World Cup run in terms of the numbers in midfield, but it did provide a platform, and over the second part of the first half it seemed as though that platform was missing, as the back four was left rather exposed by some invented Danish play. Olsen, who was a thorn in the side, and this is Bastrup. And if Denmark had matched the quality of their approach work with the finishing touch, they would have been back on level terms by now. Bastrup, the offender, but beautifully worked here by Olsen. A turn away from Neil. Bastrup found that Osman was taken away from him, but he fired wide. Robson, though, on the near side. Here's Morley. And a teasing cross for the inexperienced goalkeeper, Troels Rasmussen, who seemed rooted on the near post. Søren Busk, the defender, who conceded the corner. Wilkins to take. And it came off Nielsen, and Wilkins can try again. Mariner right in on the line, so too is Francis. Mariner's now made his move, and Rasmussen also made his, and uses the ball well for Hansen. The Danes racing forward, and this is Elkjær round Shilton, and the referee was a long way away from the incident and looked for help from his linesman, and Lerbu has grabbed hold of Mr. Korver in his disgust that no penalty was given, and the referee in the centre here of a serious incident. He was only just inside the England half as this incident took place. Elkjær went crashing down as Shilton came out. And now the reaction from the crowd in terms of firecrackers and smoke bombs being thrown behind Peter Shilton's goal. Memories here perhaps of Turin, slightly different circumstances in the European Championship finals when tear gas was the problem and the players had to leave the field. And Lerbu still furious, but his side weren't awarded a penalty. But surely the game cannot go on at the moment. The smoke, in fact, is being carried by the breeze behind the goal, as you can see. The problem for the spectators. Play will restart after after a stoppage of 1 minute. With the drop ball, the referee just checking the watch. And we're 8 minutes into the second half. Olsen, and Neil just making the interception, and his anxiety showing in a back pass played at full stretch. It was not Terry Butcher, it was Phil Neal, the defender, involved. England with their nerves jangling. But here's Mariner. And now Francis. Robson, and Mariner inches away. Morley, well blocked by Rasmussen. I'm not sure how much he knew about it. Morley's volley. The goalkeeper got his knees to it. And finally, Graham Rix shooting wide. Bertelsen, it's a good touch. Lerbu responded. This is Bastrup. Another sweeping move from Denmark. Olsen, now surely that must be a penalty. Olsen tripped by Osman. Third time lucky for Denmark. You can see Olsen picking up a loose ball, and Osman was late. Alan Hansen was the top scorer in Danish football last season, has subsequently moved to Hamburg, where he's made a good start. And now he comes face to face with Peter Shilton. 1-1. "20 minutes remain. Decisively taken by Hansen. No chance for the goalkeeper. Busk. They just aren't picking up Olsen's runs from midfield. And here's Elkjær. Shilton to the rescue. It could easily have been another penalty. Elkjær turned, kept on his feet, but Peter Shilton was off his line and gave him no space to aim at. Goalkeeping of the highest order, and how England needed it. Hansen, one touch to control, and the second was well struck. And Shilton well positioned again. Lerbu in a hurry to take what he thought was a Danish throw. Robson. Francis, and it was Wilkins with the back header. He'd taken up an advanced position, and a spot of handball ends the danger to the Danish goal. And England are warming up a substitute. Bobby Robson is looking perhaps for the introduction of Ricky Hill, who's going through some stretching motions down on the touchline. Has not yet taken the tracksuit top off. And Busk concedes a corner. And also David Armstrong is up from the bench. part of your picture. Bobby Robson is down on the touchline talking to Armstrong and to Hill. Francis! The substitutions might not be necessary. Francis restores the lead. Denmark went into this game feeling that they might be vulnerable at set pieces. And England profit from a corner. Taken by Wilkins. Butcher with a touch at the near post, and Francis gets his second. And Bobby Robson has sat down again. The goal, one must say, totally against the pattern of this second half. And it comes with 10 minutes remaining. England back in front. And here's Ronfed. Now, what response will that induce from the Danes, who rode the blow of going behind in the 7th minute so well? But they've done so much in the second half, and they trail again, and they must chase back here against Mariner. And the stadium has gone quiet. And now England can take their time. Bertelsen. Wilkins was late. But very little animosity in this game. Elkjær, who has reacted on a couple of occasions, and Robson is cautioned. But Bobby Robson wants to bring on Ricky Hill for his first cap. And it's Tony Morley who will be brought off. Bastrup got his head to it. Then Elkjær. Back from Bertelsen. And Shilton there first. Foul by on Francis. Which may well give England the chance to make their substitution, and a moment that Ricky Hill will never forget. He comes on for his first appearance in the senior side with just 6 minutes remaining as Morley goes off to give some strength perhaps to the right-hand side of England's midfield. Ronfed. Hill's first task is to chase back. Bastrup. Shilton again. Brilliant reflexes from Elkjær's shot, which was instantly struck and arrowing towards the far corner. Elkjær acknowledging the part played by Bastrup. Lerbu's early ball laid off so sensibly there by Bastrup. And Shilton beat it away. And for once, make the Danes do the chasing. Sansom. It's aimed for Francis, who's looking for players arriving on the edge of the area. And perhaps overcommitted forward. And Lerbu furious with the movement off the ball in front of him then. Piontek, who wears the look of frustration now. Bastrop, Phil Neal's ability, which has been honed at Liverpool in terms of interceptions, was crucial for England then. Mariner, and here's Hill, and it's Rasmussen's turn to time his movement off his line to good effect. And Mariner catching Denmark square. Now Hill. Mariner again, three waiting for the cross, which was a poor one. And England nearly gaining some advantage. A mix-up between Busk and Troels Rasmussen. Inside the last 2 minutes of normal time. Lerbe. Crowd disappointed at the mistake from Ivan Nielsen. A full house here, who have been given so much by their team in everything except finishing. And maybe they will say in terms of referees' decisions. Sansom. Now Francis. This is Ricks. Francis can use up time here if he so wishes. Finally, a wasted ball from Ricks in both senses, both in terms of the accuracy of it, and in terms of giving quick possession back to Denmark. Butcher checking off. Olsen. Still Olsen, brilliantly done. Jesper Olsen with a goal of supreme quality. England just could not get a tackle in, and a 21-year-old who is making his mark so rapidly on the international scene with a solo goal that delights the crowd here. Three defenders to beat, a shrug of the shoulders, and they all went the wrong way. And Shilton, left exposed, could bring off no miracles this time. In the very last minute of the game, with England sensing a victory. Olsen again. It's all over.
And now, highlights of the game with Tony Gubber.
Young England in the cherry red shirts had never seemed in danger of losing this UEFA final. And when captain Sammy Lee delivered this perfect ball to Mike Duxbury 5 minutes into the second half, the cup looked as good as won. The aggregate score was now 4-1 in England's favour. The Germans had included their World Cup player Pierre Littbarski in the under-21 side in an attempt to retrieve the final, and it was his goals that kept German hopes alive. Littbarski scoring the first of his second half hat-trick from Engel's cross. 13 minutes from time, there were 3 quick goals. Look for a fine turn here by Dave Hodgson, and then a pass neatly controlled by Paul Goddard and pulled to one side before being knocked into the corner for a very neat goal. This corner led to the Germans getting a controversial penalty. Littbarski was the man who went down, challenged by Steve McCall, but Terry Fenwick of Queen's Park Rangers clearly thought that the little winger had made a meal of it. Littbarski didn't let the protests affect him and scored from the spot. And 3 minutes later, Littbarski completed the hat-trick, this time knocking in a free kick from Johnny Otten. but victory belonged to young England, 5-4 on aggregate.
After the match, the manager of England's under-21 side, Dave Sexton, made this comment. A tremendous performance by England, he said. It was the most satisfying overall victory of my career as a manager. Well, tonight's big question was, could England's senior side beat West Germany in their friendly international at Wembley? For England's new manager, Bobby Robson, it was a crucial night. His Wembley baptism as manager, with England on an undefeated run in full international matches that had lasted 13 games, stretching back to last November. Robson was fielding a new look side, partly because of injuries, partly from choice, against a country who are the reigning European champions and who were the runners-up in Spain to world champions Italy. Our commentator at Wembley, John Motson.
Was it really as long as 16 years ago that England beat West Germany to win the World Cup? That under-21 triumph last night was the first trophy England have won above youth level since then. And in those 16 years, the Germans have been the most consistent football nation in the world, finishing first, second and third in different World Cups and reaching 3 European Championship finals. But the Wembley crowd are hoping that Bobby Robson's revised England side will now embark on a similar journey. The last stop for 21-year-old Gary Mabbutt of Spurs before his full international debut was the players' entrance to pass out tickets to his many family and friends from Bristol. But for others, Wembley is just near home. Ricky Hill of Luton lives in nearby Cricklewood and once used to sell programmes outside the ground, while Cyril Regis could see the Twin Towers of Wembley from his Willesden home when he played for Hayes. And one of his Southall opponents in those days was Alan Devonshire, born 3 miles away at Park Royal. While David Armstrong's path to Wembley took rather longer, he came via Middlesbrough, Australia, where he won his first England cap, and Southampton. So, those 5 names figure in Bobby Robson's first home match as manager, various mishaps having ruled out Francis, Hoddle, Brian Robson, Anderson and Koppel. West Germany have 7 of their World Cup final team. None of the squad have played here before, and there are 2 new caps. Number 3, Gert Strack, is the sweeper from Cologne. Number 8, Norbert Meyer, is a forward from Werder Bremen. But if you ask the Germans why they lost the World Cup final, they'll tell you that their captain, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, was only 60% fit and should never have started the match. Bobby Robson walking out for his first match at Wembley as England manager, and no doubt pleased to see the Union Jacks in the background. The referee is Karoli Palotai of Hungary, who many people thought should have had the World Cup final. The Germans wearing green shirts and white shorts, playing from left to right in the first half. And it'll be interesting to see how they pick up man for man, and also how the Germans play themselves in attack. This is Manny Kaltz. Karl-Heinz Forster, one of the 2 brothers. Gets it back from Meyer. Briegel. And the goalkeeper, Schumacher, will get some reaction from the crowd after the World Cup incident involving the French player Battiston, although the 2 players have made it up, and Schumacher was actually a guest at Battiston's wedding recently. None of the German players has appeared at Wembley before, but Jupp Derval, the manager, did. He made his international debut here as a player back in 1954. David Armstrong with the tackle. Referee Palotai, well known for allowing play to flow. Devonshire. Inside for Regis. This is Armstrong. Mabbutt has pushed on in this attack. Butcher now. And the tackle from Karl-Heinz Forster on Mariner. The first example of the ruthless man-to-man marking. Karl-Heinz, the younger of the 2 brothers, number 4, voted Footballer of the Year by the German journalists. Butcher is forward for the free kick on the far side. Mabbutt is waiting to come in as well. Mariner made the early run. And this morning at the England training session, John Howe, the coach, was working hard on those free kicks. Mariner, the man to make the first run in, as Wilkins seizes the chance to play the ball early, and Mariner appeared to claim a corner with some justification. Wasn't given. Wilkins sliding in on Karl-Heinz Förster, and that was a touch of revenge there. Förster was the player who damaged Mariner a moment earlier. Wilkins went crashing into him in the middle of the field, and the Germans appear very concerned about what may have happened here. His brother Ben went rushing straight to Karl-Heinz when he fell. Rummenigge also calling to the bench. And Jörg Durbal has come onto the pitch to talk to Strack, as though a stretcher will mean the end of Karl-Heinz Förster. I would imagine that the Germans will accommodate Hieronymus into their defence, although he's played quite a lot in midfield as well. And what a blow for the German Footballer of the Year, regarded as the best man marker in Europe just at the moment, Karl-Heinz Förster. So they would think now that Hieronymus will take over as sweeper and Strack will go to Mark Mariner. Hieronymus is wearing 13, plays for Hamburg, and I'm afraid at the other end of the field, the very sad sight of Karl-Heinz Förster being carried off, obviously badly hurt. Thompson. Strack in front of Mariner. They've met before when Ipswich played Cologne in the UEFA Cup, and Strack on that occasion went off injured. Sansom. Thompson. And Wilkins well forward here for England. Ricky Hill. News from the dressing room is that Karl-Heinz Förster is having stitches in a gash, although from the way they put the substitute on, there was never any question of them waiting to see whether he would come back. They seemed to know how serious it was the minute he went down. Mateus. Wilkins. Sansom. Butcher. England carrying the game through here. It's Butcher still on the ball. Good run by him too, wide to David Armstrong. Mariner is coming in for the cross. He fell. Was he checked by the defender? He thought so. He appealed. Nothing given. Hieronymus. Rummenigge. Armstrong. Looks wide for Ricky Hill. Mabbott outside him. That's Hill into Regis. The chest off was for Wilkins. It was the ambition of Ray Wilkins' father to see him play, or rather to lead an England team at Wembley. And how sad it is that as Ray Wilkins has this shot, his father George is not yet well enough to be here. He's been in hospital recently, but he is watching on television tonight, I gather. And Ray was certainly well up with the forwards there. Well, the match in Madrid was cagey because the teams, it was said, paid each other too much respect, and it rather looks from the first 20 minutes tonight as though the Germans are again penalising themselves with lack of ambition in terms of the number of players they're pushing forward. But it may be early days to draw any firm conclusions about that. Riegel, for one, is at least making strides to get there now. And so too is Rummenigge. Locks one in, and Kenny Sansom having to stretch. And the shot was by Bernd Förster. And the defending done at the expense of a corner by Devonshire. Couch to take this one. Little Meyer was in there with the flick. Armstrong away. Hieronymus from Regis. Also on that side, Mateus. Not a bad ball in, and what a good save! Meyer with the header, and a brilliant save by Peter Shilton. Mateus, a superb cross, and Norbert Meyer comes in here. Unmarked, look at that, and Shilton turned it over. Here's Couch. Well, they say goalkeepers like making those type of saves because it was straight above him, but he had to be quick because they'd left Meyer absolutely clear. Hill. Rummenigge. Armstrong. Regis. Armstrong coming in, and don't be surprised to see him in there, because an unlikely character he may be in some ways, yet he scored 15 league goals last season, and he is one of those midfield players who will get into goal-scoring positions. Proudly on display at Wembley tonight, the trophy won by the England under-21 side when they beat West Germany on aggregate in that two-leg final. Phil Thompson. Mariner. Regis trying to get in, he might! Good save, Schumacher, it's going to come to Ricky Hill. This goalkeeper's very, very alert coming off his line, and that might bring a smile to one or two faces after one incident in Spain, but he is a very competent goalkeeper. Armstrong, Mariner, and Hieronymus is the defender, dwelling a bit, and was he pushed by Devonshire? So, 10 minutes to go in the first half here at Wembley in this friendly international. England 0, West Germany 0. England have had more of the game, but West Germany had perhaps the best clear opportunity when Meyer's header was tipped over. And that's a very poor kick by Schumacher. So Butcher will look for the knock-on again at the near post. Oh, bit of elbows in there. Armstrong. Turned it in nicely. Mabbutt shot! So close to a goal in his first international at this level. Rummenigge. Mabbutt struck that absolutely instantly. As the ball came out of a crowded penalty area, Schumacher to his left and off the post. And reminders of the match in the World Cup in Madrid, which ended in a 0-0 draw, because that's the position at half-time at Wembley tonight. But Joep Derval's plans certainly upset by the early injury to his centre-back Karl-Heinz Förster, who is now in a nearby hospital with what the Germans are calling a serious calf muscle injury and over 20 stitches in a gash in his leg after a collision with Ray Wilkins. Gary Mabbutt had England's best shot, which hit the post. The Germans had a couple of opportunities, but at half-time, no score. Germans tonight are aiming to become the first nation from overseas, first foreign team ever to win at Wembley twice. But England had more shots in the first half, and here's Devonshire, checked on the edge of the area. It was just outside, I fancy, by Ben Förster. England in the first half had 11 goal attempts to Germany's 4, and there could be one coming up here from the free kick. Regis, corner. And up goes Butcher, mistake by Schumacher. Well, how they survived there, I don't think they're even sure. Armstrong. And it's still dangerous as Mariner comes in. And Mabbutt pokes it back, and Ricky Hill couldn't control it. Schumacher's twice been very fortunate when the ball has been skidding across an unguarded goalmouth. Armstrong. Mateus. Oh, Armstrong. He won it, he shot, he got it back, he found Ricky Hill. Determination there by David Armstrong. And indeed by an England team in general. Good advantage played by the referee there. Wilkins across to Mabbutt. Into Hill. Back to Regis. Fortunate in that opening England attack. Joep Derval's West Germans have only been beaten once by a European nation in the last 4 years, and that was by Italy in the World Cup final. Butcher. Mariners making a run down the left. Checked a bit now as England bring Thompson forward. Devonshire, who crossed from left to right. Oh, that was nicely done. This is Wilkins with the cross. Regis far post. Hill! Good save by Schumacher from Ricky Hill. Ray Wilkins with the chip ball to the far post. Regis the header back. Hill the flying header. Schumacher the flying save. Made it look very spectacular. He comes out to meet Butcher, and it's going to come down to Wilkins. And the Germans breaking ominously here. Rummenigge's got Kaltz forward and Arlofs. Actually, they haven't